All right, let's dive in. Today, we're getting a little spicy.
Oh, yeah.
Things are going to get a bit heated as we explore movies that push the boundaries. You know, those that definitely earn that NC-17 rating.
Sounds intriguing.
We're taking a look at Cinema Blend's list. It's called 20-plus sexually explicit movies you can stream right now. And guess what? They're all on Netflix.
All on Netflix. Wow.
Now, before you get any ideas, we're not just here for the obvious. We're going deeper. We're looking at how these films tell stories, the themes they explore, and what they say about how we see intimacy on screen, you know.
Makes sense.
So first up, let's jump right into the deep end with More the Merrier. This Spanish comedy, it takes place in a swingers club. And from what I've read, it tackles love, lust, the whole thing, but with a comedic, like a refreshingly frank approach.
I'm intrigued already.
Right. What I find interesting is how they navigate the whole swinging thing. They don't shy away from the awkwardness or the humor, but they also explore the emotional side, the search for action, all that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, shifting gears completely. Now we're going to Hollywood with a star-studded drama called Closer. Julia Roberts is in it, Jude Law, Natalie Portman, and Clive Owen. And it really digs into the messy side of love, infidelity, you know, the scars that broken relationships leave behind.
Oh, I heard of that one.
Yeah, it's intense. What struck me was how honestly it portrays human flaws. There's no sugarcoating the pain of betrayal or how destructive jealousy can be. It's raw, honest.
Sounds heavy.
It is. All right, time for something lighter. Not another teen movie. Remember that one? It's a total parody of those classic teen comedies, but, well, much raunchier.
Ah, I see where we're going with this.
It's hilarious. And it actually uses humor to, like, critique those societal norms.
Yeah.
By taking those teen movie tropes and exaggerating them, it shows how absurd some of those stereotypes are and the pressures young people face about love, sex, the whole social hierarchy thing.
I like that.
Now, hold on tight because we're jumping into the future.
Yeah.
Subservience, a sci-fi thriller with Megan Fox. She plays a robot, and as you can guess, she's designed for, well, subservience. But things get dark, really dark, when she develops this, like, dangerous attachment to her owner.
Sounds intense.
It is. And it makes you think about the nature of desire, where the line is between human and machine, the whole thing about technology and its consequences, kind of like Metropolis, but with a really provocative twist.
I'm getting Ex Machina vibes, too.
Oh, totally. Okay, get this. Mea Culpa? This one's a Tyler Perry production, but it's not his usual heartwarming style. It's an erotic thriller. Kelly Rowland stars as a defense attorney who gets caught up in a world of passion and danger.
Wow, that's a departure for him.
Right. It's so interesting to see him, known for those family-friendly films, tackle this genre. You know, it shows he's willing to push those boundaries, explore different things.
Definitely shows a different side.
Okay, let's go back in time with a classic, Sea of Love. Al Pacino stars as a detective investigating murders, all connected to a Lonely Hearts column. And of course, he gets involved with a suspect, blurring the lines between work and, well, personal desire.
Classic Al Pacino.
Right. This film shows how erotic thrillers can be suspenseful and explore those dark impulses we have. The atmosphere, Pacino's performance, it all creates this feeling of danger and desire.
You can practically feel the tension.
Exactly. Now, ready for a laugh? Happy ending. A Dutch comedy about a couple trying to, well, keep things exciting in their relationship.
Don't they all try that at some point?
It's relatable. Their attempts to spice things up are awkward and hilarious. The film reminds us that even intimacy can be funny. And sometimes, to rekindle that flame, you gotta embrace the absurdity of it all.
Sounds like a good reminder.
It is. Now, for something that plays with your mind, Deadly Illusions, Kristen Davis, from Sex and the City, plays a novelist who hires a nanny, and she starts to lose track of what's real and what's fantasy.
Oh, I love a good psychological thriller.
Right. This one explores the creative process and how our imaginations can take over. It keeps you guessing until the very end.
Sounds twisty.
It is. Now let's go global. Lust Stories is an anthology film from India. 4 short films, all directed by different people, exploring human sexuality in modern-day India.
That's an interesting concept.
It is. It gives you a taste of different perspectives and styles. It highlights the diversity of human experience, showing how love, desire, and social expectations play out across generations and backgrounds.
So a glimpse into different worlds.
Exactly. Now, sticking with the theme of women and self-discovery, there's The Year I Started Masturbating. It's a Swedish dramedy, and it follows a woman after a big life change. She starts challenging norms and embracing a more open, honest approach to female pleasure.
That's a powerful theme.
It is. The film breaks down those taboos and normalizes conversations about female sexuality. It tackles a subject that's often hidden, empowering women to embrace their bodies and desires without shame.
It's about time those conversations became more open.
Absolutely. Back to mystery and intrigue, we have a simple favor. Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively star in this stylish thriller. A mommy blogger investigates her friend's disappearance, uncovering secrets, lies, and hidden desires.
I remember that one.
It's so clever and suspenseful, with a touch of eroticism. The visuals, the dialogue, the strong female characters, it's a captivating watch.
Definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Okay, now for the classic enemies to lovers trope, Anyone But You. With Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, they have to pretend to be a couple to stop a wedding from going wrong. And of course, their fake relationship becomes something real, with lots of laughs and some steamy scenes along the way.
That sounds fun.
It is. It's got that rom-com charm, plus amazing chemistry between the leads. It reminds you that love can show up in unexpected places.
Sometimes the best stories come from the most chaotic situations.
So true. Ready to turn up the heat? Burning Betrayal. A Brazilian thriller about a woman who's about to get married, but then she discovers her fiancé's infidelity and she wants revenge.
Oh, that sounds intense.
It is. It's full of passion, betrayal, and a thirst for payback. It shows how infidelity can awaken this need for justice that can consume you.
The human capacity for love and revenge, both powerful forces.
Right. From Brazil, we head to Chile for Dra Martina. This one's a romantic comedy, but with a twist. A singer finds out she has a half-sister she never knew about, and then falls for her half-sister's boyfriend.
Things are about to get complicated.
It's a wild ride. It plays those classic rom-com tropes, exploring family ties, forbidden desires, and how life can surprise you. It shows how love can be messy, complicated, and yeah, even a bit taboo.
I love how these films explore love from so many different angles.
Now get ready for a dose of romance with Through My Window. This Spanish drama, based on a young adult novel, is about a young woman who falls for her wealthy neighbor, and there are 2 sequels, so you can really dive in.
A trilogy, perfect for a weekend binge.
It's all about first love, the yearning for connection, that forbidden romance vibe, and it's beautifully shot with those gorgeous Spanish landscapes. Pure escapism.
Sounds like a visual treat.
Okay, time for a comedy that's causing a stir. No hard feelings. Jennifer Lawrence stars in this one. She plays a woman who answers a Craigslist ad from parents who want someone to date their shy son before he heads off to college.
Wow, that's a unique premise.
It is. It's got raunchy humor, heartwarming moments, and Jennifer Lawrence doing what she does best, being hilarious. It's a coming-of-age story with a twist exploring that awkward first love phase and the lengths parents will go to for their kids.
I'm always up for a good Jennifer Lawrence comedy.
You too. Yeah. No, for a film that gets dark and deep, fair play. This thriller is about a couple who work at the same high-stakes company. The woman gets promoted over her partner, and their relationship implodes. Tension, betrayal, a power struggle, the whole works.
Corporate drama meets relationship drama.
It's explosive. It looks at power dynamics, the challenges of maintaining equality in a cutthroat environment, and how love can turn into a battlefield.
Sounds intense.
It is. Now buckle up for Ride or Die, a Japanese psychological thriller that's part road trip, part love story, part dark secret. A woman leaves everything behind to help her old crush escape an abusive husband.
That's a lot to unpack.
It is. It blends romance, thriller, and crime, creating something truly unique. It explores love, loyalty, and what we'll do to protect the people we care about.
A roller coaster of emotions.
For sure. Now let's dive deep, literally, with no limit. This French film is about a free diver and her coach. Their connection is intense, both in and out of the water, pushing them to their limits.
I sense a passionate and dangerous relationship.
You got it. It's visually stunning with those underwater scenes, and the story explores obsession, both beautiful and destructive. It celebrates the human body, but also acknowledges the risks when you push too far.
A story of passion and the consequences that come with it.
Exactly. Now we're revisiting a classic tale of forbidden love, Lady Chatterley's Lover. This adaptation of the novel explores the affair between a woman in a loveless marriage and the gamekeeper on her husband's estate.
A classic story of desire and societal constraints.
It is. It challenges those social norms and shows the yearning for real connection in a world full of rules. It celebrates sensuality and finding fulfillment, even if it means breaking the mold.
A timeless theme.
Let's step into a different world with Madame Claude. This biographical drama tells the story of a Parisian brothel owner in the late 60s. It gives you a look into a hidden world of power, secrets, and complicated relationships.
I'm curious to see how they portray her story.
It's a fascinating character study of a woman who built an empire. You know, the film explores power, the allure of forbidden pleasures, and what happens when you live on the edge of society.
A glimpse into a world we rarely see.
From Paris, we travel to South Korea for high society. This drama is about a young couple who are determined to climb the social ladder. They're willing to do whatever it takes to get to the top.
Ambition can be a dangerous game.
It really can. This film shows how seductive and destructive that pursuit of status can be. It's about wealth, status, and the lengths people will go to for their place in the world. It exposes that dark side of the elite, the moral compromises and the hidden betrayals.
Sounds like a cautionary tale.
Now let's talk about a trilogy that's gotten a lot of attention, the 365 Days films. These movies are about a young woman and a powerful mafioso who kidnaps her. He gives her a year to fall in love with him.
I've heard of those. They're quite controversial, right?
They are. They definitely push boundaries with explicit content and how they portray power in a relationship. Some people find the dominance and submission theme problematic, while others are drawn to the chemistry between the leads and the whole escapist fantasy of it all.
It definitely sparked a lot of conversation.
It did. It makes us think about consent, fantasy, and the complexities of desire. These are conversations that go beyond the screen and into our own lives.
Important conversations to have.
For sure. Now, for a love story rooted in reality, Elisa and Marcella. This historical drama tells the story of two women who fell in love in the late 1800s. To be together, they had to hide their relationship and get married.
A love story that defied the odds.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the power of love in the face of prejudice. It's beautifully shot, and the performances are incredibly moving. It stays with you.
A story that deserves to be told.
And finally, we're wrapping up with a series that's taken the young adult world by storm, the After movies. This 5-film saga follows a couple's intense relationship, all the ups and downs of first love, the challenges of commitment, and the power of forgiveness.
Young love can be all-consuming.
Right. It captures all that intensity and drama. Young audiences really connect with it. It shows the messy reality of love, heartbreak, and figuring out who you are and what you want in a partner.
A coming-of-age story that resonates with a lot of people.
Definitely.
Wow, that's quite a list. It's fascinating to see how many different ways filmmakers are exploring sexuality and relationships on screen.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think it reflects a growing openness in our society to have these conversations, to explore different perspectives and experiences.
You know, speaking of Lady Chatterley's Lover, adapting a novel like that, so iconic and, well, controversial, must have been quite a challenge.
Oh, absolutely. It's a story that's been praised and criticized, for how it portrays female desire and critiques social class. The filmmakers had this delicate balance to strike, honoring the book while making it resonate with today's audience.
It makes you think about the context, too. Post-World War I England, a society dealing with the aftermath of war, those changing dynamics between men and women. It's not just a romance, it's a commentary on a whole era.
Right, exactly. And speaking of women who challenged the norms, let's talk about Madame Claude. She built her own empire in a world dominated by men.
It's more than just a brothel story. It's about power, influence, the relationships between those who provide and those who seek pleasure.
You hit the nail on the head. And it also raises questions about agency, exploitation. Madame Claude was a savvy businesswoman, in control. But we also have to consider the women who worked for her, their vulnerability.
It's complex, with layers of morality and societal pressures.
Definitely. And while we're on the topic of ambition and power dynamics, High Society, set in South Korea, shows how a couple's relentless pursuit of status can have consequences.
What struck me was the visual style, so elegant. That stunning cinematography creates this atmosphere of allure and unease. They have all this beauty, luxury, but there's this undercurrent of emptiness, a moral hollowness.
It's a reminder that chasing wealth and status can come at a high cost.
And those morally ambiguous characters, those are always fascinating. The 365 Days films, they really spark debate with how they depict dominance and control in a relationship.
Yeah, those films definitely push buttons. It's important to watch them critically. Some might be drawn to the fantasy of being swept away by a powerful figure, but it's crucial to recognize the potential for harm when a relationship lacks balance and respect.
It's a slippery slope, and the popularity of those films shows there's a fascination with power dynamics that blur between consent and coercion.
It's a conversation that goes beyond the screen, for sure. We need to be aware of those nuances in real life, too.
Now, for a story that celebrates love without those complications, Elisa and Marcella, it's a beautiful testament to the power of love to overcome obstacles. Those two women defying societal norms to be together.
It's a reminder that love transcends boundaries, and their courage to be true to themselves, even when it was so risky, is incredibly inspiring.
The film's cinematography in black and white adds to that timeless feel, and the performances are just, wow, so moving, it sticks with you.
Absolutely. On a different note, the After series really captures the intensity and, let's face it, the drama of young love. Those early relationships, the challenges, the heartbreak, the forgiveness, it's all there.
It's like a raw, unfiltered look at what it's like to navigate those early relationships, figure out who you are and what you want.
It's relatable, especially for younger audiences going through those same experiences. Those first loves, they can consume you.
It's really been something going through this list.
It has, hasn't it? So many different genres, themes, from those light comedies to like those really intense thrillers and dramas that really make you think. It's amazing to see how filmmakers are pushing those boundaries, using film to explore sexuality, in all its complexity.
It shows a real shift, I think. Like, our society is more open to having these conversations, exploring different views and experiences.
And what's great is there's no right way to approach these stories. What resonates with one person might not with another. It's about finding what speaks to you, being open to different perspectives.
And being critical, too. We have to be aware of how sexuality is portrayed on screen, the good and the bad. We should always question those power dynamics, consent, the messages being sent.
So true. As we wrap up, what film really stood out to you?
That's tough. So many were intriguing, but Elisa and Marcella, that one really stayed with me. Their love story, their courage to defy those societal norms back then when it was so risky, it's incredibly inspiring.
I agree. It's a celebration of love in its purest form, and a reminder that the fight for equality, the right to love who you choose, it's still going on.
It makes you think about how far we've come, but also how much further we have to go.
Definitely. So to close out this episode, I wanted to leave our listeners with something to think about.
I'm all ears.
We've talked about films that explicitly show sexuality, but what about suggestion? The power of leaving things to the imagination. Can a film be erotic, sensual, without showing everything?
That's an interesting question. And I think, yeah, absolutely. Some of the most powerful films I've seen use subtle cues. The atmosphere, that unspoken tension between characters, it creates a kind of intimacy that's, well, more potent than just showing everything.
It's about trusting the audience to engage with the story, to fill in the gaps, come up with their own interpretation.
Exactly. So as you explore the world of film, look for those movies that master that art of suggestion, the ones that leave you feeling satisfied but also wanting more.
The films that spark your imagination and stay with you.
Precisely.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of sexually explicit movies on Netflix.
It's been quite a journey.
Thanks for joining us on this steamy cinematic adventure.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Until then, happy watching and happy exploring.